Hi everyone, yasas que Carlos to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. If you're looking for a quick and easy weeknight dinner idea, you've come to the right place. Today I'm going to teach you how to make my version of shrimp tacos. They come together in 30 minutes and the whole family is going to love them. Let's get started. So we'll begin with the shrimp. I'm using shrimp that I've already bought that's been previously frozen just because it makes life so easy. These are already peeled and deveined. They do have the tails on. You can take the tail on now or later on after you cook them. I'm gonna leave it all up to you. So make sure that you pat the shrimp dry so that way there's no water left on them. And then we're just gonna season them. And if you wanna use store-bought taco seasoning, you could use your favorite seasoning and just put it on top of the shrimp and you're good to go with a little bit of salt. But I'll teach you how to do it homemade like I am making it today. So a little bit of olive oil. I'm using about 2 to 3 tablespoons, just enough to have all of the spices stick to it. 3 to 4 garlic cloves that I've already grated. You can use garlic powder instead if you like. Half to 1 teaspoon of salt, make it as salty as you like. I'll put a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes on top. 1 teaspoon of ground dried cumin. If you have ground onion powder, you can use that as well. Half a teaspoon adds a little bit of sweetness and more flavor. Some freshly cracked black pepper, about half to 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and a teaspoon of paprika. If you have smoked paprika, go ahead and use that. I don't, so I'm just gonna use regular paprika and just go ahead and mix it all up until the shrimp is coated with the seasoning. You could set the shrimp aside and now get the sauce ready. The sauce is so easy to make. I just combine equal amounts of mayonnaise and sour cream. About half a cup of each is what you're gonna need for this many tacos. I like to have extra sauce because it's so good. I also add a grated garlic clove, so you could do 1 or 2 cloves of garlic to this to make it as garlicky as you like. Then I add some sriracha sauce and some hot sauce. The hot sauce has vinegar in it, which really elevates it and just brings the sauce all together. So I do add it in there. It's different from sriracha. Mix everything all up and you could add as much or as little of the sriracha and hot sauce as you like. More hot sauce is going to make it a little bit spicier and it's going to make it a little bit more vinegary, so I'll leave it up to you. Taste as you go, and when it tastes right, then that's it, you're done. Just mix it all up and set it aside. You can leave this refrigerated. You can have this on hand because it goes well on almost everything. You can use it on fish tacos or any sandwich. The sauce is so good. Now I'm just gonna chop up some cabbage. I have this purple cabbage over here. I'll just need a little bit of it. Just slice it up really thin. And I'll also season it a little bit. I'll just drizzle a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar on it. You can use a white vinegar instead, but since I'm using the dark cabbage, the balsamic will not even show. And a little pinch of salt, and just toss it up a little bit so that way everything is coated and every layer that's going into these tacos is gonna be very flavorful. I'll also chop up this avocado. I slice it in half and carefully take the seed out, scoop out the flesh and dice it up. I like to squeeze lots of lime on it. It's gonna keep it nice and green and adds flavor. And I sprinkle some salt on it. And now we're just gonna get the shrimp cooking. Everything is ready to go. I'm gonna get a cast iron skillet heating over medium-high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, I'll drizzle a little bit of olive oil into it. Then I'm gonna saute the shrimp about 1 minute on each side. And I'm gonna do this in 2 batches because if I were to put all of the shrimp in this cast iron skillet, instead of them getting cooked properly and staying dry, they're gonna release their juices and become soupy. So you don't want that when you're making the shrimp. You want these to be nice and dry and perfectly cooked. And they take about 1 minute on each side. Once they're pink, they're ready. If you overcook them, they're gonna dry up and they won't be juicy. So just transfer them to a plate. And now we're ready to put everything all together. I like to make this using the small corn tortillas. I reduce the heat to like a medium. I'll warm the tortillas on one side first, flip them over, and then I'll sprinkle the cheese on top. This is just a Mexican cheese, which is a combination of different types of cheddar. You can use your favorite cheese in this. Once it starts to melt, you can take it off of the heat so that way the tortilla doesn't get too toasted and kind of dry. You want it to stay nice and soft and bendable. Then I'm just gonna stack everything on top of the tortillas. So I'll put a little bit of that cabbage on there, about 3 shrimp, because these are large shrimps, fit on top. And then some of the avocado, lots of that delicious taco sauce. And that's it, these are ready to serve. They're so good. You can make all these components ahead of time, even the shrimp if you're making this for a party. And then you could just warm the shrimp up really quickly in an air fryer or in an oven just until it's warmed through, and then everybody can put their tacos together and that's it, they're ready to be served. So just like that, the tacos are ready, and of course you can serve them on corn tortillas, whole wheat tortillas. You can put them in a bowl with the Mexican rice that you have to stay tuned for. This rice goes perfectly with the shrimp tacos. So easy to make, and it can also be made side by side with the shrimp because it also takes about 30 minutes to come together from start to finish. It's so good. Like I said, you could serve the shrimp over the rice if you want. You can serve it over cauliflower rice or whatever you like. But this is such an easy recipe that's perfect for busy weeknights. You saw how easy it was to put everything all together. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. You can head on over to the website, dimitrasdishes.com, to print it out and get the exact measurements for it. Make extra because it tastes even better the next day. You can just warm the shrimp up in an air fryer and put everything all together, and you could have another delicious meal. Time for the taste test. And I'll just use the fork so I don't bite into the taco and make a mess. Oh my goodness. That shrimp has so much flavor. Just takes about 1 minute on each side for it to cook. It's so juicy, loaded with flavor. I got a little bit of the cheese from the bottom. I love melting the cheese on the tortilla rather than just putting it on like that. I like melted cheese way better. But if you like the texture of just regular plain cheese that's not melted, you could put it in your taco like that. Let me know how you're serving these in the comment section down below. And if you make them, please share pictures with me on Facebook and Instagram. I love seeing your recreations. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.